Hello, welcome to Chrysis Invictus Tarot. Tonight I have for you a shadow work reading. So just checking in with where you're at in your shadow journey, your underworld journey, as we are in the time of night, the time of the underworld. And so as I light these candles, perhaps you set an intention, you ground your feet, you ground your root, taking long, slow, deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. And you'll see that I have 3 piles set up for you already. The first pile illuminated is the Magick Jasper and the Tarot of Unknown Shadows. Our second pile, I'm not sure what this stone is, but it's layered, and I know it's regarded as a very healing and grounding stone. And the Jon Bauer Tarot. And finally, your third option. Again, I forget the name of this stone, but it feels like lemonade on a hot day and represented by the Klimt Tarot. So making your selection from the comments or the description box below, I will meet you at your reading. Welcome to your reading, pile number 1. You chose this chunk of Magick Jasper. And we are reading for you tonight from the Tarot of Unknown Shadows. So continuing to deepen your breath, coming into that space of receptivity. If this doesn't sound like it's for you, it may not be for you. If it does sound like it is your message, please claim it in the comments below. And we'll get started. Your first card, the Knight of Coins. Along an arduous process of unfoldment of bad dreams, spoiled business deals, almost careers, physical injury or illness that has kept you back or held you back. It was, or you have experienced a spoke in the wheel, a spoke in the wheel. Something that slowed down an already slow process. Let's take a look and see what else. The 6 of Swords. So part of what happened, or what could be happening, or what will happen, is that you're unable to move away from something that wasn't serving you. You became stuck or dependent on something when you thought you were ready to move away from that thing. Your guides are telling you that it's all right, that any level of dependency you're experiencing at this time is not or should not be judged by you or anyone. That we all experience setbacks at times, and that this was fated. It was necessary for you to build and to gain skills, experience, knowledge, healing that will help you to continue on your path. What other messages for pile number 1? You feel or have felt shame for speaking too soon or believing something to be a sure thing. And it feels like an injustice. It feels perhaps you have gone into a space of questioning, why me? This question has not served you and will not serve you. You must accept whatever this injustice has brought as a gift. And the swirling and dizzy feeling that you get, this feeling of spiraling out of control, is because it was necessary for you to build a stronger foundation. You are building. You are not building from a foundation of gold. You are building from a foundation of sand. So you are brought back some steps to get ahead, though that may seem counterintuitive. So that's the past or the situation. Where are you in the present with this situation? If indeed that speaks to you of a situation past, remembering that temporality in these readings is not linear. And so this may apply at any time, in any space. The King of Swords. You understand intellectually the misalignments, the crossed wires, the way in which what you were building was not for you. And you knew this. And that was why you wanted to move away, but you weren't allowed to move away. Not yet. And it was to build knowledge, a knowledge base, to learn something, skills, information. You are trapped in that space to be trained. You are trapped in that space to be trained, or you will be trapped in that space to be trained. And so, knowing this, you may regard it as something unlike a trap, but more like a stop. Failures from your past, from your childhood, things that have haunted you, things you regarded as failures, the way in which you hold yourself accountable and are hard on yourself is being highlighted here. How can you be more generous to yourself? How can you quiet the voice that says that you're not enough and trust that you have the skills and abilities to move forward? Whatever you lost here, whatever backtrack financially, physically you had, was meant to be, it was fated. And knowing that, take that responsibility off of yourself. You are being asked not to regard yourself as a failure, as someone who is not enough, or as an imposter. You are enough. And so you travel through this shadow. And the deep work is emotional. It's those immature ideas about yourself. Perhaps you have been afraid to try, because if you try and fail, that seems worse. But trying gives you the knowledge that you did all you could do. And there is more closure in trying and failing than not trying and letting things fizzle. There is a discord within yourself, a toddler inside of you that says, well, I'm never going to do that again, or stomps their feet, has a temper tantrum when things don't go their way. And this is a shadow you're being asked to address, to look straight in the face. This inner child, this small one, didn't know any better, but you can and you will. And there is no shame in having to work on this childlike self. It is for us to walk up to them, to hold them, and to tell them that everything is going to be all right, or speak sternly to them if that is what they need. Let's get more from the oracle cards. Sacrifice, yes. You have sacrificed and you may be asked to sacrifice more. And how much more can you give? The answer is infinite, because as you sacrifice, you make space. You bury the grievances of the past, making space. What can you let go of as you begin to tap into your root and strengthen and brighten that light within you? You're half heavy and half buried already. Maybe it's depression or anxiety. Let yourself release into the earth all that does not serve you, all that is not for you. Make peace with your past. Make peace with what you have lost or who you have been. Stop telling stories of what you used to do and start speaking in the present about what you do now. To Taking deep breaths, staying peaceful and receptive, knowing that there is no shame or judgment in any of these messages, and that you can take what works and leave the rest. Anger and chains. Yes. You feel bound to things that are choices. With confidence and with healing this younger self. What did your younger self get angry about? What were those injustices? Perhaps you were reacting to them the same. We have Leo energy here. Pride. Perhaps you feel you should be good at things on the first try. You don't like being wrong. Whatever happened here made you feel wrong in some way. What's wrong with being wrong? Isn't it worse to feed the anger and let your belly ache? Work through the lower chakras. Calming and soothing the solar plexus, grounding the root, and cleansing the sacral. There's a lot of anger under your sadness. There is a lot of misdirected anger. Notice, as you are angry, if you can, be a witness of your anger. Is it toward the thing that you are letting it out upon? Or is it about something else? Or is it a history of anger that is repeating itself? Don't be afraid to ask these questions of yourself. People cannot take from you what is rightfully yours when you have truly and fully claimed it. And what they take, remember that they have their own journey. Karma is not up to you. Your wrath and your anger will not help you. But they are powerful, powerful tools of transfiguration and transmutation. When you can convert pure anger into pure love, you are one of the most powerful beings there is. Learn to stir that pot within you and transmute this energy. Find safe places, safe people. Embrace your fiery side without shame, without guilt, so that you may observe it, move through it, and become more rooted. There are more indications here of a child self feeling like they lost something or they were punished for being themselves. How can you feel safe to be yourself? And draw another card. To represent what you're transforming into, or what stage of the journey you're on. whatever information this card will give us. The mother, healing the inner feminine, the nurturing self. If you feel kindness is a weakness, if you love with fear, if you feel you cannot be strong and vulnerable at once, this is what you are here to heal. With this fiery energy, with this transmutation and transfiguration, you have the ability to love the whole world, to nurture many people, to be fruitful and bountiful in your life. But you are bound in this moment, stuck in a toxic feminine. You are your own toxic wife, whatever that means to you. And this is a middle world journey, a space between innocence and experience, a time of learning that is formative and beautiful. And finally, I will pull some cards from my Shadow Walk deck. It's just channeled little squares of information. And we have Hawk. It says elevated consciousness, big picture, higher perspective, focus, intention, clear. So clearing away yes. Rise above your anger and your sadness, the earth and fire, and soar higher. This perspective may make you feel dizzy. This may make you feel chaotic. Stabilize in this space with clear intentions and focus, bringing yourself back always to the heart of the intention to see clearly. Even if your intention is always clarity, zoom out your perspective. See yourself in the greater picture. Hawk is a two-part card because I wrote on the back of a blank one and on the front of a blank one, and I just shuffled and got both halves of Hawk. So I'm going to leave you with that message. I'm going to leave you with that spirit, with that animal. This is your connection to spirit. And for you, navigation of the shadows is in the higher realms. You know the darkness, it's time to fly. Let the hawk be your guide. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Welcome to your reading pile number 2. Let's take a look at your shadow journey at this time, past, present, future. Keeping in mind that this could be past, present, or future energies, and coming right out of the deck, right off the bat. We have the 7 of Cups. You are plagued by by fantasies, by stories that you yourself have created, and you're not sure which ones you've created yourself and which ones are real. There is a sense of not trusting yourself, of not knowing, of enmeshment, of not knowing where you begin and end. a transient you or I, projection, gaslighting. These are all things you have experienced. And you are healing these wounds, having to discern shadow from truth. And there's so much to choose from. The King of Wands eats his own heart sometimes, sacrifices themselves for others. Again, because of not knowing where you begin and end. Sometimes you mistake your worth for how much you give to others. And then you may respond in kind with retreating or blaming others for what you have given them. In being generous and benevolent, it turns out that you are giving more than you could or should or wanted to. Sometimes altruism is not as it appears. Sometimes we are doing these things for ourselves to avoid our own truth, to avoid acknowledging our own shadows. And when there are many shadows chasing you, it's easier to become a healer to others or to focus on what's going on outside of yourself. And this darkens your soul. It makes you feel burnt out, used. Alone, I'm here again, I'm here again, I'm here again. Coming into self-pity. And you have been through a lot. And so it's right to feel sad and mournful and grieve all of the things that you have experienced. But you do have a choice. And you can make it out of this space. These are past energies. This is what you have been through. Let's see what's more current and what's future. As we move along, some hard emotions here. I'm getting a feeling of abandonment, which would also lead to feeling that your worth is tied into healing others or taking care of others to the detriment of yourself. And then asserting really strong, over-the-top boundaries or lashing out at people who you teach them how to treat you. And they were following suit. Not everyone is bad for receiving your kindness. And so I see you moving through a great threshold, a great door very quickly. An awakening may have happened almost overnight. Someone you knew, someone close to you perhaps. they led you into this dark night of the soul. And this is a fantastic card. This shows me that these are or will be past energies, that you will move beyond them. Remembering that this is an ever unfolding path, but you are blazing your way through the dark nights. Oh, incredible. Judgment, past, present, and future converge. And so you're learning to be in the present, and this will help you to, as you learn to be more in the present and to incorporate past, present, and future rather than living in the future. There's future shadows here, or sorry, past shadows. Ooh, future shadows. Interesting. So there may be some aspect of yourself that holds your future self hostage. See if you can locate that future self in your body or your psyche and set them free. Find the key. But this is regarded as a time of great change. A whole new life is ahead of you. This is a dawn breaking right after you've passed the threshold. And it brings you to this place of mastery over your passions. You now feel comfortable to ride a little bit slower through this journey. Not to rush through, but to really absorb these lessons and begin to become more comfortable in your skin. There's a lesson of wanting and of warming, beginning to open your heart again after this dark night. And this heart opening process is slow. You cannot rush it. The characters you meet here are ones you already know. And this will help to give you a feeling of safety and stability as you navigate these shadows and decide what is real and what is not. Let's get some oracle cards. And that card was that 3333. So that may be significant to you. Tangibility, make your dreams real. There may be some dream work happening here, and so your shadow work is done in dreams. Using lucid dreaming, journeying techniques to navigate the subconscious mind. Meditations. There's a delicate balance between what is conscious and what is unconscious. And you will receive messages in many ways. And you will begin to be able to make things material that were once just illusion or a dream. This is a gift you have to manifest from nothing. Your subconscious creates. Naked before the stars. Vulnerability again. How do I achieve greatness? How do I know? There's something that you know to be true or real from this world of dreams, something you've always known about yourself, some gift or talent, beauty, illumination that only you have to give, and you are on a journey to become more vulnerable so that you can deliver this gift. It could be through the body, physical touch, or the image of something. Through the work you are doing, you will begin to see that you have not steered so far away from yourself as you had thought, that these dreams are not forgotten. That you have nurtured them all along. Be aware of your reflection. Be aware of what energy or what mood you are in when you are making decisions, or when you are crafting something, or when you are interacting with someone. And choose not to interact when you are not in the energy or mood or emotion that you wish to bring forth. You manifest through moods, and you can conjure clouds. You can conjure illusions, you can shapeshift potentially. Some of you can see spirits or interact with that realm. But it's illusions, paranoia, assumptions that are made that are coming up for you now or along your path are going to ask you to embrace responsibility and truths about yourself that you had once not allowed yourself to embrace, staying in a place of victimhood. There is no judgment here. These things were difficult, and what was done to you was not right. But we can take responsibility for our healing. Know that you are held here in this space, and everything is going to be all right. In your dreams, face your demons. If you are being chased, stop in your path if you can and turn around. These demons don't like to be looked in the eye. Name them and they lose power. So I'm going to pull a card that represents where you're at on your journey and see what we can learn from it. The crone. So you're deep in the winter in the underworld, navigating shadows, navigating the dark, the dreams. And she is a harsh teacher. Be kind to yourself. Self-care is key and pivotal as you work with her energy, as you become this energy. It may be difficult because so much is shrouded in darkness. But once the light comes back, and it will, as it always does, as it cycles, what has been missed will be illuminated, and another cycle will run again. And know that there are always further opportunities to do this work. We allow the cycle to exist. And finally, I will pull from my Shadow Walk channeled deck, Vine. This is very much connected to the energy of the crone. The vine grows up out of the earth and wraps itself around a living thing and strangles the life out of it. But it also provides fruits of intoxication, divine vision. It says feeling strangled, held back, unable to move, unhealthy attachments. So the unhealthy attachments were what we looked at here. Maybe a lack of boundaries or too many boundaries. But the vine is an equalizer. It's nature's way of balancing. And we embrace death through the energy of the crone and the vine. And through this vine, we can find ecstatic connection. We discover that we are not only connected by the song that sings the universe and the ethereal energies, the oneness, the crown chakra, but there are roots and little bits of soil and stone. We are all connected by matter. And this is the foundation. You are rebuilding your foundation. Be patient with yourself. And one more. Oh, wow. Dream. So dream worker, if you're looking for something to look into a bit more, dream work. What is your intention? Fantasies and illusions. So a lot of Pisces energy here. Sending you so much love. Pile number 2. Thank you for joining me here. Welcome to your reading, pile number 3. This reading started at 444. so that number may be significant to you. This is a shadow reading, so we're taking a look at where you are, maybe currently in your shadow work journey, what you need to know, any wisdom. You're a very boundaried person, and you discern astutely. I'm seeing a blindness in the right eye. A favoring of the mind over the heart. Sometimes your intellect cuts, sometimes it stabs as you defend yourself. And these things are usually developed for a reason. They were needed tools, aspects of yourself that you needed to have to survive. Let's take a look at what else we can see about this. Encouraging you to take deep breaths and settle into this reading. If you find anything triggering, pausing the video, taking some time. Something I say may make you angry or upset, and that is, you're right. Independent to a fault. I'm fine, I'm okay, I don't need anyone else, to the detriment of yourself. And you'll let someone help you on your terms. But not enough to feel vulnerable. I am indebted to no one. I am proud. And I stand alone. These are your shadows. But there is a longing for a passion you cannot experience by yourself. This does not mean that you are single. This does not mean that you live by yourself or that you don't have loving people in your life. But in your deep inner world, there is a refusal to make eye contact with anything that might disarm you. There is control, there is strategy, there is thought, but the heart is longing. And you see this progression of these women looking off in the distance, searching for something. And here she looks down to the foundation, to the root. From where does the passion grow? If you are disconnected from your heart, you wouldn't know. Not fully. Let's move into the present proper, taking this how it resonates. This could be in any temporal structure. It's a timeless reading. This could be a cycle that repeats itself. We'll see. The truth of it will reveal itself. This reading is always already very different from the last two. Wow, the King of Pentacles. You've built yourself a wall so tall and strong, this reading can't even get in. And so as you move through your spiritual journey, you are only allowing things to come through the cracks. Very little good can get in or out when we have built these walls. And we are holding on to a vulnerability and a sensitivity that is so deep, that was so unacknowledged and under-nurtured. It feels like an insurmountable wall. However, this energy and this energy will help you to get over the wall. This is where you use your mind, ideas, listening to stories, examples, studying experiences, hearing stories of people who have had similar experiences to you, seeing others be vulnerable in group settings, acknowledging that sharing and vulnerability are two different things. This queen shares from a space of detachment. Sharing from vulnerability is sharing from the heart. But you can use these tools, the tools of the mind. And when it's explained to you in the right way, it will start to unlock the heart. Let's see what else we have as we move through the shadows. The Knave of Swords. You have some powerful energies. So again, this is a fast-moving sword energy. This is a fast-moving intellect. And so once those ideas are unlocked for you, this will be the ideas themselves are a fast process. Convincing the mind is easier than convincing the heart. There's some healing of the inner masculine that's needed here in these shadows. And the inner masculine can be represented by our fathers, so healing our relationship with our father, or just healing our relationship with the self that is masculine, whether we're male or female, it doesn't matter. We all contain both. And the High Priestess. Ooh. You've got some big energy behind you. So this is training yourself to use your intuition, to favor and to recognize that she is a queen in her own right, just as much as she is. The High Priestess outranks the King of Pentacles. she sees beyond the walls, because there are no walls that can contain her knowledge. She knows and intuits all. And connecting with her energy, this strong feminine energy, she holds a book on her lap. Again, this is the key, this intellect, married with the intuition, begins to unfold and unlock the heart space. The High Priestess generally has a current of water and a moon with her, so the subconscious mind. Let's take a look at the oracle cards and see what they have to say about this shadow journey. And I hope that you are enjoying this as a meditative exercise as much as a tarot reading. It was my intention to make it relaxing so that the messages aren't jarring but helpful. And you can be in this receptive state. So we have Maximus. How can you feed others when your own table is empty? And there may be times when you are asking people to be vulnerable without you being that way. And what I mean by that is situations where you want someone to show their cards first. You tell me you love me first. You do the vulnerable thing first, and then I will. And this is about being able to do it first, to own how you are feeling. I'm drawn to this flame as I think it's reflective of this Two of Wands, that there is this longing for that level of connection within you that may have been what spurred this journey. There is a spark and a light. And it could be that you use it to burn down the wall. Oh, you burn down the wall overnight. And in that fragile place, you begin to protect yourself in new ways. Gratitude, love. The energy of communal vulnerability becomes protective and nurturing and nourishing for you and for all of those who love you and whom you love. And you can be anywhere along this line, like I said, or it could be something that you cycle through. You come into this energy of balancing, and then something happens and the walls go up again. You'll know. And we have envious gluttony. And really what I'm getting here is more a sense of, it's honestly a fear of loss of power. This person makes themselves scary, makes themselves beastly in order to keep others out. And that may not speak of appearance at all. That may not be in overt personality. That could be energy. Like throwing out energetic spikes of, don't come near me. Don't get too close. Don't touch what's behind these walls. But I also think this is what you protect yourself from. So there could have been a lot of competitive energy around you when you were younger. A lot of greed or competition or scarcity where you are meant to fight for scraps or fight for attention or fight to matter. And so that's why the wall was created. And look around you. Are the people around you dangerous in this way? The people that matter to you, are they like that? If they are, examining that relationship as one does when things are illuminated. When you start to see that the people around you have beautiful love, when you have beautiful love, when there is gratitude, you realize you have walls up for no one important, that it's just a barrier between you and the people that you love. There's also this feeling of being pulled in many directions. So finding your center and finding your essence and finding the core of who you are as a person, that foundation. Sometimes our foundation becomes that wall that we built around ourselves, but we have to grow from the center of that walled space, grow roots down, so that when the walls come down, we still have foundational energy. We don't feel completely unstable because the wall wasn't ever even attached to us. It was just something we built around us, and it's not a place to grow from. It can get us so far, and that's the part that makes it hard, is that it gets you so far, and sometimes it can get you very far. But then there's still these feelings of unease or feelings of disconnection, of not fully and truly experiencing success even. And so it may feel like being torn apart to take down this wall, but just remember to grow these roots. Maybe make it a practice of noticing the ways in which you care for yourself and have created those roots. I'm sure you've created them for yourself without even knowing. You are a protective person, and you shield and protect the people around you, and you can do the same for yourself. People feel safe with you. They feel like you have things managed. It's also okay to not have things managed, and to ask for help and to be vulnerable. So this is a card to represent where you're at in your journey. Okay, so it could be helpful at this time to find out what animal spirit protects you. So perhaps doing a journey to find an animal spirit guide or a protective or power animal. And with this animal by your side, it will feel easier to be vulnerable because you know that they protect you. You can also shift into this animal. If you shapeshift in journey, you can shift into this animal and observe what it feels like. Perhaps you go into being a bear and you feel what it's like to fully love the cub, to be vulnerable in that way, if that's not an experience you've had as a human. Or at the very least, you are in a space of building courage, because it takes courage to be vulnerable. It's one of the strongest things we can do. And taming that pride, taming that ego. Okay, so there's some solar plexus work to be done there. Ego would play a large part in this energy here, in that protective energy, overcompensating by emphasizing how you're powerful. This is about knowing you're powerful and allowing yourself to be naked in it. Trusting it fully. And finally, I'm going to pull some cards from a channel deck that I have. It's very crude. Shadow Walk deck, tree. So again, this is talking about roots, really firmly planting yourself in the earth. It's going to feel comfortable for you to do that because of the earth energy that's here. The ground is a great place to start with that. Embodying spirit. So embodying the things that you are learning. Body, mind, and spirit, connection to all realms, patience, connection, divine incarnation. The tree is in its trunk, the connection to the roots and to the branches. And so it may be helpful as well to practice tree pose or practice coming into contact with trees, sitting with your back to a tree and breathing next to it for a little while. And reflecting upon the roots and the branches. And there's a saying, it may be Dolly Parton, and I am paraphrasing, but it's something to the effect that where roots are deep, there's no need to fear the storm. So keeping that in mind. This is a journey, the shadow journey for you is all about rootedness, wow, and knife with the swords here. Knife. And this is about cutting down all of the things that you've grown around you. So freeing yourself, that's the message. Freeing yourself from an imprisonment, and that was created rightly so. You needed that for a time, but know that you are safe to bring down those walls. So long as you do the work of the heart and protect yourself. So that's what I have for you, pile number 3. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care.